Hello, everyone. Welcome. We will get started in just a moment. We'll just let people roll in. While you're all settling in, why don't we start with a little icebreaker? I would love to know where everyone is joining from. I am currently in London in our Payhawk office, where spring is just outside the windows. Where is everyone joining from? Oh, amazing. We've got Austria, Cyprus, Romania. What a mix. Ukraine, Poland, Spain, Hamburg. I used to live in Hamburg, beautiful city. Welcome.
I think we're all just surprised it's sunny here in the UK. It's never that. So take the positives.
Sofia, Madrid. Beautiful. Welcome, everyone. Let's give it another 30 seconds. We'll wait for everybody to join, and then we will get started. Spain. I do wish I were in Spain. Beautiful. Okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. And welcome to Payhawk's Spring 2026 Product Update webinar. Do we have the slides?
Okay, give me a second and I'll share my screen.
They're really beautiful slides as well, so thank you for your
There you go. Awesome, so I guess we can kick it off.
Let's do it. Could you move forward, please, Nikki?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you for your patience. My name is Carolina. I am a PMM here at Payhawk. I will be your host today. And I am joined by some brilliant people. We have Christo Borisov, who is our co-founder and CEO. He will kick us off with an intro to Payhawk and the big picture. We also have Robbie Hatfield, a general manager of travel and spend. And we've got Nikki Pochlubkov, who is the general manager of accounts payable, and each will be walking you through some exciting new things that we have been building. We've got a packed agenda today, so I won't waste any more time, but just a couple of housekeeping notes first. Next slide, please, Nikki.
There you go.
Excellent. Probably my favorite slide. We have a raffle today. We've got 5 Uber vouchers that we're going to give away. All you need to do is stay until the end, and we will randomly draw 5 names from the list of attendees, and we will follow up with you via email with this lovely gift. And just to reassure everyone, any demo videos that we will be showing you, they are test environments. There'll be no personal data of any customers or any sensitive data during the demos. One thing that would really help us today, next slide, please, Nikki, is if you could pop your questions in the question tab. This is because the chat gets very busy and things move super quickly, and we don't want to miss anything. We will try to answer as many questions as we can during the session. If there's anything that we cannot answer, we will follow up with you afterwards. So here's the agenda for today. We will start with a reminder of the theme for our spring release, just a quick snapshot of everything that we have launched recently. Then Christo will give us a proper intro to Payhawk for anyone who's newer to the platform or maybe doesn't know Payhawk yet. And after that, we're going to deep dive into our most exciting releases. And of course, we will close with a Q&A. Next slide, please, Nikki. So what is this release actually about? The overarching theme is the end of invoice chasing. And if you've ever worked in or around finance, you know exactly what that means. Every month, someone somewhere is logging into supplier portals, hunting for PDFs, uploading, re-uploading, and so on. And it's one of those tasks that everybody has to deal with, and one of those tasks that quietly kills month end. This release eliminates it, and it's something that we are very, very proud of and excited to show you. Our financial controller agent now fetches invoices automatically from SaaS tools, from ad platforms, from any suppliers, and attaches them to the right expense before anyone has to chase or ask. But there's a lot of exciting things beyond that. Our travel agent now does trip changes and cancellations. We have a company travel dashboard. Our procurement and payments agents have updates, and we have a whole lot of ERP improvements across NetSuite, Xero, Sage Intacct, Business Central, and a lot of other exciting stuff. But the overarching theme that I do want us to take away from this is around moving operational finance work from people to the platform. This is the reason that PayHawk exists, and this is what we're trying to do over here with our product. So without further ado, I am going to hand over to Christo to give us a little intro to PayHawk.
Thank you, Caroline. It's really great to be here and to be able to actually introduce to you, the PayHawk platform. Next slide. Okay, it takes some time to load. Our vision is very clear. What we are trying to do in the next, 5 years is to get to be able to run a company that's more than 500 employees with one person in finance. So the idea is to actually create this orchestration platform where you can actually make all the payments and all the rules around and the budgeting around the payments very essentially invisible. We want to make sure that whenever somebody travels, whenever somebody spends money, the transaction just happen, and they don't have to deal with the invoices, with the expenses, with the approvals. All of this is actually embedded and orchestrated within our platform. Going forward, I think the main thing that we want to focus on today is to explain the platform. Today, for those of you who are not aware, PayHawk is an AI native spend platform. The way we position this is as a product that orchestrates money for global teams across bill payments, card and expenses, travel, procurement. And we give the finance team maximum control and automation and savings from the way they're using the platform. For us, it's also extremely important to position this as an intelligence platform that works on a global money account. So all the money that we are managing are safeguarded money. We're using infrastructure like JP Morgan to keep the money safe in multiple bank accounts. And the way we focus on the infrastructure of the company is to really redesign 4 experiences today. So we have card and expenses, travel, bill payments, and procurement. Those are the different products and different lines we currently have. Behind the scenes, we have an AI that is agentic across web, mobile, Slack, and Teams. It has an agent memory so that we can provide a very exceptional experience for our customers using it, and a lot of configuration and system design by AI, which we are currently introducing as well. In order to power this experience, we also have a very strong payments infrastructure. Currently, we offer credit and debit cards in 32 countries with bank accounts and IBANs as well. We currently also support global payments in more than 120 countries with industry-leading FX rates, so that if you are paying your supplier or reimbursing an employee in a different country or currency, you can do that. And behind all of this is our very strong enterprise SaaS platform that allows you to go and orchestrate the budgets, the rules, the policies with enterprise-grade security. And of course, to have a system like this, to be able to really do the necessary automation, we want to make sure that this is fully integrated within the existing finance world. So we currently have a lot of native integrations to ERP systems and more than 60 HR integrations as well, so that we can actually really fit well within your existing world. So the key capabilities for us is to have extreme control and visibility of everything that's happening with money, to give you the maximum automation and efficiency so that you don't have to go and chase receipts, manually code those invoices, and you can actually rely on a system that does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And at the end of the day, you can save a lot of time and money, both on the finance team and for all the employees in terms of time they need to deal with the existing processes and procedures that we have, and of course with the leading payments services that we provide a lot of money on FX and many other things. Okay, our slides is slow today. So a cornerstone of that is our AI office of the CFO. We currently have built 4 purpose-built agents that are doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you as a finance team. So we have a financial controller agent that is essentially chasing employees for unsubmitted expenses and supporting them in submitting those invoices. We have a procurement agent that is handling all the requests for employees if they want to buy and purchase things within the company. We have a travel agent currently supporting hotels and flights to allow employees to book travel that is compliant with the company spend policy. And not only it is allowing employees to book the travel, but it's also remembering a lot of the information and the travel preferences for employees so that they can really book pretty fast after the first time, so to say. And then we have a payments agent that is providing a lot of the capabilities necessary for adopting the platform, and it can remind you and can support you, especially as a finance team. If you have 100 cards issued, there is going to be a lot of questions from people when and how they can use the cards. The payments agent is actually replacing that heavy lifting for you, and it's actually doing heavy lifting, sorry. So the goal of the AI office of the CFO is to embed them into your existing process, really action autonomously and eliminating the busy work. It's key for the adoption and the implementation of the platform. It enforces the rules and the policies and the workflows, and at the end of the day, it has the same level of security and trust as the rest of the platform. Okay, our slides. And, one of the key things that, previous slide. So one of the key things for this release is that we are moving from the desktop experience where you are on Slack or you are using the platform or the agents in a different way to directly the front and center of our web portal and mobile app, so that the agents can be there and can do the work for you with just a click of a button. Going next, we're going to switch now gears to Robbie, who's going to show us some of the latest things with the financial controller agent and some of the very exciting work we have been doing on the engineering side to be able to release some groundbreaking things that you're going to see in a second.
Thanks very much, Christo. So first and foremost, we asked our finance community, what's the biggest bottleneck around vendor receipts and invoices? And unsurprisingly, it's the document downloads, it's the uploads, it's the manual processes associated with this. And if we just move to the next slide, this is something that we're already trying to address with the financial controller agent. Sort of towards the end of last year and sort of early this year, we released the chasing part, the chasing skill as part of the financial controller agent. And what we've seen is groundbreaking in terms of we're achieving 62% quicker expense submission. And this is both where the card is present for the transaction and also the card not present, e.g. for those subscriptions, etc. We're seeing a 61% improvement in approvals, and we're actually improving the document capture, 93% here. And I know that's really critical for the finance team when it comes to those VAT reclaims. We just move to the next slide. Thanks, Nikki. Let's think about the hidden cost of invoice chasing. And this isn't just the finance team and the passive-aggressive messages that I used to send to people trying to upload their documents and people generally hating me. It's burdensome for the employee as well. They're having to log into the website. They're having to go and then find that document. Is it even the right document? Is it the right tax document as well? They then have to download it and then they have to upload it. And I'm sure they're always going to claim this is not top of their priority list. And this is where you've got that huge time saving. That's what we're trying to address here. And that's where we're releasing Agent Fetch. And this is where, if you listen to Hristo, he will always tell you it's the most requested feature that we've ever had in PayHawk. Me personally, I used to be a PayHawk customer about 4 or 5 years ago. I'd have liked it then. It was something I had to consciously make decisions about to bring this into finance to get the document capture. And actually, with Agent Fetch, it does give you that possibility to decentralize. So where's this working? It's working on card expenses, it's supplier websites, and it's across a variety of different spend types. So you've got a few logos there, so Adobe, Atlassian, some marketing sort of providers there, and also some travel ones at Uber. It also worked my train this morning into London with Trainline. Just move on to the next one, Nikki, thanks. But good for the employee, but also good for finance. And this is where those missing receipts, those forgotten approvals, often leads to the wrong accounting data. It goes into the wrong GL codes, can delay month end. You're having to accrue for stuff a lot more, delaying the VAT reclaim. You're not getting the cash flow that you would get there. Ultimately, the financial information of the company, you're not achieving that real-time visibility and that cost control culture. And that's what we're trying to address. So let's see it in action, and let's play that video. This video is going to show you the first experience though. So the first step is you authorize the agent. And as soon as you authorize the agent, it's then going to take you automatically to the supplier website. And at this stage, the job of the employee is to log in, put their login details, and you'll notice there's no captures here. And the reason for this is we are a certified good agent by Cloudflare. So you should be able to log in here. And once the employee's logged in, at this stage, they will transfer control over to the agent. So everything you see on the screen now is the agent doing this. It is not a human. So the agent is going to take you into the billing details and go and download that invoice. And I should note that other AI models or other LLM models are available apart from ChatGPT. This is also working with Claude and Anthropic as well as many other supplier websites. Okay, so once the agent has got the invoice, it will auto attach this against the card expense. And then if all the coding's done, so you've got the GL code, you've got your VAT codes, etc., it will then submit this, and you'll see this, it's now in the approval stage. From here on in, as we're still in ChatGPT, any further invoices, any further card expenses would be auto-matched, therefore automating that task for the employee and achieving those time savings. It's an exciting feature. I think it gives great possibilities for time savings for both the employee and the finance team. It's something that we are looking to release to our customers in beta early next week. So if you're interested in testing this out, you'll see it in our PayHawk Labs tab in the settings page of your PayHawk platform, and then ultimately have a go. But just to remind you what's in scope, it's card transactions and the invoices on supplier websites. I should also just add, we are not retaining or we are not saving your login details or storing passwords or anything like that. So from a security perspective, we're not sort of storing any of that information. We're just taking the authenticated browser. Thanks very much. I think we can move on to the travel agent.
Thank you, Robbie. This really is a game-changing release for us. I don't remember the last time the whole company was so excited about anything. Maybe the rest of our agents. Thank you for this overview. Let's move on to travel. This is my favorite part of the webinar. I am biased. I work on the travel product, so you're getting the enthusiastic version of it. But before we go into where we are with the travel agent and what's coming, I just want to take a moment to remind everyone how travel actually works in PayHawk, because it's a very unique thing in the market that we've built. Most companies will have some kind of travel solution, but the problem always is that the finance team sits downstream from it. The booking will happen somewhere else. Policy probably lives in a PDF somewhere and is ignored, and reconciliation is still manual at month end. And the finance teams find out what travel actually costs at the end of the month. PayHawk is the only tool that connects this entire flow from request to reconciliation inside the same system that the finance team already uses. There's no separate booking tool to log into. There's no invoice chasing after the fact. The approval covers the flight, the hotel, the daily allowance in one go. The flight invoice arrives at the moment of booking. The trip report is built automatically. So everyone benefits, including travelers. We use this solution internally for our business travel. But really, the real winner is the finance team, because for the first time, they have full visibility and control over travel spend before the trip happens and not after. Let's go forward, please, Nikki. Excellent. So one of the main things we've been focusing on with the travel agent is making it truly autonomous, not just for booking, but for anything that happens afterwards. Previously, if something changed, a flight needed to be cancelled, dates shifted, plans changed, the traveler would get redirected to customer support, which defeats the point of having an agent, right? So what we've built now is the ability to handle changes and cancellations directly inside PayHawk. So the traveler requests it, the agent coordinates with the supplier via API, and finance visibility stays intact because all these changes are logged in the same system. Of course, just to reassure everyone, we always do have a fallback to human support if needed for things that are more complex and need more support. The goal, however, is to have this agent become the single point of contact for the entire trip life cycle, not just for booking. This is an iterative release. The cancellations are live now and trip changes are coming very soon. Next, please, Nikki. Thank you. This one is for not just for finance teams, but any HR people that we may have on the call. We've built a centralized travel dashboard that gives you a real-time view of every trip, every traveler, every cost across your company in one place. This isn't just a nice to have. Stronger oversight means stronger duty of care, which I know we all care about. And instead of stitching together spreadsheets and reports from different sources, everybody, again, from HR to ops to financial controllers, they can work from one source of truth. So this is something that we're very excited about as well. Next, please. And we have a lot cooking on travel. Again, very biased. I think it's the best part of the platform. Some of the things that I wanted to highlight are the ability to book on behalf of others. This is a very much requested feature. We have a lot of executive assistants, again, ops people, HR people who want to be able to book travel, for example, for their executives. So this is something that we're working on. Soon we'll have group bookings. So any offsites, booking for a large amount of people in one go, that's also coming. And something that we know matters hugely to our European customers is train support. So that is something that is also on our roadmap. Next, please, Nikki. Okay, this is the demo. This is the fun part. Let's play it. So we're looking at one of the most common scenarios post-booking, so changing the dates. We tell the agent what we need. It flags any non-refundable costs, and we will see that that transparency runs through the flow. Rebooking the flight, it works exactly as you would expect. Pick a flight. We choose a fare based on things like luggage allowance, and everything stays in policy. Because there's an additional cost to this change, the agent asks for a reason, and that reason will also travel with the request. Again, the non-refundable cost is surfaced again before we submit anything. Crucially, this doesn't create a separate record somewhere else. It updates the original travel request in the system. So there's always a complete audit trail of every change that we make. This is very important for finance teams, as we know. On the approver side, they get everything they need to make a decision. The reason for the change, the cost incurred, updated booking, and they can approve or decline as they wish without chasing, without a back and forth and any clarifications from the traveler. Quickly, a simpler scenario, a fully refundable booking. Say we want to change the hotel dates, we just pick a hotel and a room. It is very simple and a flow that you will be familiar with if you have a travel agent. So we select a room, always go for one with breakfast. That's my recommendation. And because there is no additional cost, the request is auto-approved. And again, the trip request is also updated automatically to reflect those changes, which is something that we know customers care about. Right. So that was travel. Thank you so much for your attention. I am going to hand over to Nikki now to take us through some exciting updates on ERP integrations and payments.
Thank you, Caroline. The travel agent has been one of my favorite features to use over the last few business trips, and it's definitely game-changing. But now to actually bring it to the more boring stuff, but we know that the fundamentals of how we connect to different systems and how deep we are able to integrate with your processes is exactly what matters the most for having utmost visibility and automation of the process. I'm really happy to announce that we're releasing a new integration that is more dedicated towards our French customers and part of the German customers out there. We have been having a lot of customers working with PennyLane, and now they're able to connect Payhawk and PennyLane automatically via API. What this allows us to do is to have the possibility to transfer master data automatically on a daily basis. And then as soon as we have all those payments processed, the invoices fetched through the agent, the trip reports and the expense reports ready to be submitted, they will be automatically transferred to PennyLane without the users having to go through some extra hassle on that. On top of this, there is a lot going on under the hood, and we've been shipping constant improvements. And here we just decided to cherry pick some of the ones that got the most responses from our customer base. When we think about NetSuite, we've added native support for expense reports. So now every trip that you have on Payhawk can actually be grouped as an expense report and transferred over to NetSuite in a similar fashion. And together with that, we've also improved the way that we handle credit notes so that it's automatically adjusting the bank impact there. With Sage, which was one of the integrations that we released with Sage Intact last season, we've added the possibility to utilize the deferral or the amortization schedule so that you're able to actually do the proper periods when you're having expenses that need to be amortized. And more and more are coming, but we also have things like better credit note support for Business Central, a more cleaner and easier reporting on fees that are coming into Zero. And there's also a ton of improvements to make them faster and more reliable. What I'm more excited about, though, is the things that you are going to be seeing in the next couple of months. Starting over with the one that we're going to be piloting in April and in May, that's going to be the purchase order sync with NetSuite. This is going to be a thing that would allow you to get a purchase order in Payhawk and automatically import it into NetSuite, and at the same time, keep the whole life cycle with a good receipt note, with the invoice that's matching and doing the two-way or the three-way matching. Together with that, we're also going to be adding support to the other way. if you're having your purchase orders being imported into NetSuite through a service order system or something else, you're now going to be able to get those inside Payhawk so that you're able to facilitate the payment using our global payment account. And this is some of the releases that are coming in the next month, and we're starting to test them out with customers. So if it's something that's exciting for you, just drop us a message and we'll definitely be including you to that as well. Together with that, we have the more processes that we want to handle into our system. We're adding native support for pro formas and advance payments, together with credit notes. Those are all highly requested features from all of our customers that are using Payhawk for bill payments. So keep an eye out for those as well. And of course, if they're interesting for you, just drop us a message and we'll definitely jump on a call to tell you more, show you how they work, and you can test them out for yourself. And last but not least, this is a larger topic, especially for a huge part of our client base. We're currently working on our SAP S/4HANA cloud integration. This is something that's going to be ready in May and June, and we're going to be connecting our first customers to that in June. So if you want to be part of that first wave, or if this is something that's interesting for you, again, do reach out to us. And we're really excited to see what you think about the things that we're making. I guess the other bit that we need to check from the things that we've released is the improvements on our payment side. Our global payments has been a sensation. And this is just an understatement. We've had customers that are increasing their volumes 10, 15 times month over month and are constantly putting more and more spend through the platform just because of how easy it is. And naturally, with putting more volume, we start getting some of those requests on actually improving the quality of life and making it even more seamless. And we've shipped a bunch of small things that are making the global payments experience a world-class payment experience for every mid-market and enterprise customer. Now you are able to have bulk payment execution on global payments, which is much easier when you want to do your payment run in a more succinct way. In addition to that, we've improved on the end-to-end traceability of those transfers. As you know, we support 120 currencies. Some of those currencies are working with proprietary payment rails, and having that end-to-end link on exactly what happened where is super crucial. And now it's super easy for you to go and get that information inside the system. And together with that, we're improving on the messaging. We know that payments can be complex. So now it's easier, it's a more guided experience, especially for those currencies that would require some additional details here and there. And all of those things are currently live, and we're getting a ton of positive feedback from our customers. So if you haven't experienced our global payments yet, just make sure that you reach out to us. And I guess now I'm going to pass it back to Caro for our exciting Q&A session.
Thank you so much for this, Nikki. You called it the boring section. I disagree. I think this is the backbone of what we offer here at Payhawk. If you think back to the kind of platform overview that Krista gave us, what makes us different and what makes us special is that we have the infrastructure and the boring layer that makes everything possible. That allows us to then build super exciting stuff on top. Okay, we have reached Q&A time. Thank you, everybody, for putting your questions in the questions tab. It makes everything much easier for us. Bear with me just a second as I try to make sense of these.
I might take some of them as I have been answering. I think maybe the most common question that we have received was related to the agent fetch capability and whether you need to authenticate every time to receive an invoice. Actually, the best thing is that you have to authenticate only once to a portal and then just pass control. You don't have to wait for this invoice. We showed you how the agent is retrieving the invoice, but you didn't have to do that. As soon as you authenticate, you can just click the button, give control to the agent, and then close the browser session. So the agent, next time you have an expense, he's going to automatically go and search for this expense. And in my case, I'm just coming back from a 4-week trip in the US, and I had more than 30 Ubers. So I haven't downloaded a single Uber from the portal. All of them were retrieved by the agent itself, which was extremely handy. Of course, it takes some time. Sometimes the invoice to be produced by the vendor, so sometimes it can take a day or two. But as soon as the invoice is available, the agent is going to be able to retrieve that. I think the next big question was related to the security concept related to the agent fetch, and whether people are feeling comfortable doing this. The way we have designed the system, first of all, is that we went through an extensive review with Cloudflare. We're one of the 10 companies in the world that currently has a so to say certified agent with Cloudflare that is authenticated as a good agent to those vendor portals, so they don't try to kick it out, block it, or put captcha to it. In terms of the session itself, we don't store any of the credentials. As you can see, you might have two-factor authentication. You might be required to provide a challenge or solve a challenge, or whatever you have set up for the specific portal. You can do that, and as soon as you have authenticated the agent, you can give it access to that session. Of course, if you want to cut access to the session, you can do that. You can go to any portal and website and close all the existing sessions connected to that portal, or you can ask the agent and you can ask the agent to give you again the login portal credentials, so that once you log in, you can just sign off or log out the agent itself, so that it doesn't have access to your session. Caroline, do you want to take?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to throw one Nikki's way, and then I will take a few of the travel ones. Nikki, this question is made for you. Are you planning to provide an SAP S/4HANA integration?
Yes, thank you for asking. And yes, we are. We've been working on this for the past few months. Currently, we are finalizing some of the technical details related to that, and our immediate support is going to be for SAP S/4HANA Public Cloud, and we're going to be offering a private cloud solution as well. The scope of that solution would allow you to get the master data from SAP into Payhawk, and the other way around, invoices and journals to be posted directly into SAP. As I mentioned, we are targeting to have our first customers connected late May, early June as a preview of how the integration works, and planning to roll it out to all of you later on. So if you're interested in getting that, and if you're interested in participating in that early preview, just reach us and we'll definitely tell you more.
Thank you, Nikki. A whole bunch of travel questions. I will try to pick the ones that have been repeated the most, hopefully making the largest number of people happy. There's a lot of questions around what happens with invoices that you get from the hotel when you check out. So anything that you book through a travel agent where you pay up front, so all of your flights, some hotels, Payhawk would generate the invoice, and it will also auto attach it to the expense. For anything that is still analog, so if paying at the hotel, the traveler will need to collect the invoice. What we would love to do is work on smart reminders to make sure that that isn't forgotten. However, it's just how certain hotels work, and there is not much that we can do about this. So there will still be a small amount of invoices that you'll have to remember. We have a question from Amy around trains. When can we expect the trains in the travel agent? We have started working on this, and we expect this to be available later this year. There is a lot of regional regulations with train providers that we are making sense of at the moment, but it is an absolute priority on our roadmap. Let's have a look. Is there any update on being able to schedule payments for certain currencies? Whenever I pay a bill using a local network, this has to be paid from our GBP funds and cannot be scheduled. Nikki?
Yes, you should be able to schedule those. If you're paying international wallet, most probably you don't have that functionality already live with you. We're planning to do a rollout of all of our capabilities of global payments later this year, and you should be able to have that in place. So reach out to your support or implementation manager and ask them for more information on that one.
Thank you. We have a question from Stefan. Do you need a customer to test your product? We always do. We absolutely always do. We have a beta program called Labs, where we, whose entire point is to gather feedback from customers. However, if you've seen something in this webinar that is not live yet and that you would like to test and see, please reach out to your account executive or your implementation manager, and they'll be able to put you in touch with the right product team. We live and breathe customer feedback. I know everybody says this, but the way that every release that you saw today has come into life is through speaking to our customers and making sure that we're choosing to build the right things. Let's have a look at some other questions. When will Agent Fetch be available? Robbie, could you remind us?
Yeah, of course. So we're looking to release Agent Fetch in labs, so beta testing, and that will be early next week. So keep your eyes peeled. But yeah, it's something you can sort of potentially look to start testing yourselves early next week.
Thank you, Robbie. Bear with me, please. I'm just going through these questions.
We have a lot of questions, so just try to answer as many as we can.
Question from Stacey. What is the timescale for releasing the travel agent, and would this have an additional cost? The travel agent is live. It is available. If it's not, if you don't have the travel agent on your plan, again, please reach out to your account executive. They'll be more than happy to take you through it, demo it properly for you, and agree the best way forward. But it is absolutely live. Like I said, we use it extensively in the company for all our business travel. And again, a biased opinion, but I think it's the best thing about Payhawk. Let's have a look. Do we have a timeline for credit notes and pro formas?
So that's a great question. Those are things that we're starting to test with customers in May, and we expect that you're going to be seeing them in the Payhawk Labs platform somewhere around mid-May, and they're going to be released generally to everybody around June. As soon as you see them in Payhawk Labs, you're going to be able to go ahead and start playing around with them.
Thank you, Nikki.
There is another one, Nikki, for you, related to partial payments.
So in this case, what we are building together with the pro formas would allow you to pay something in advance and then link an existing invoice to that, so that it can offset the total payable that you need to have with that. So we're building a mechanism that's not a classical pro forma invoice, but it allows you to actually connect invoices and pay them in installments as well. And we spoke with a lot of our customers, and generally that's the main use case that they're trying to do. They have some sort of a customized payment term that they want to fully automate with.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Nikki. There's a question that I saw that I just lost, but it was around the search results that you see through the travel agent and whether we specifically push certain hotels or flights that benefit us. And the answer is a resounding no. So we are the only provider on the market at the moment that doesn't add a markup to the prices. The search results that you're seeing depend on a number of things. So they may depend on your preferences. For example, you may have a preferred hotel chain as a company, or even a certain area of a city that the traveler themselves likes to stay in. So preferences matter. Your travel policy matters. We always prioritize options that are in policy. And our inventory comes from very many places, and it is sort of market standard in terms of the breadth of inventory that we get. So we certainly do not push options to you that benefit us. We want to make sure that what you're seeing is what the best option for you.
Yeah, and maybe there was also many questions related to the cost and pricing. So I want to address a few things. So first of all, we are not adding any markup on the flights that are available from the airlines. So we're getting this at cost, and we're providing this to you. When it comes to the hotels, we are also trying to provide extremely competitive market rates. Obviously, we're using an inventory that's available. So we're trying to provide as much as possible extremely good rates. And so far, the experience with customers has been quite positive when it comes to the rates they receive. In terms of a price and cost for the agent, we currently charge 3% booking fee, but we also provide cashback. So for those customers that have cashback, they're able to substitute a huge amount of the booking fees, given that all the payments are happening through our cards.
Thank you, Christo. There's a whole bunch of questions we did answer in the questions tab, but I think it would be helpful to kind of highlight them just so everybody can know the answer to this. A lot of questions about what happens with the fetch agent, with agent fetch, if there's multiple accounts that the user has on a supplier website, for example, on Uber.
Yes.
Robbie, could you explain how that works, please?
Yes. So currently we do have cases where you might have multiple people log into a portal. In this specific case, what you need to do is you need to authenticate everyone, each user to the specific supplier portal, given that they're the one retrieving those specific invoices or generating those invoices. So that's what needs to happen. Essentially, the way you think about the agent fetch is that it is actually doing work on behalf of a user. And if there are 2 or 3 people that are usually doing this thing, you can authenticate each one of them to those portals. And if they have different sections of the websites, that's going to be doable. There was actually one related question to this, which was for Uber. People sometimes have personal cards. They have PayHawk company cards also in their Uber. We actually have trained the agent to differentiate between personal spend on certain platforms versus business spend, and it's only going to be looking for expenses paid with the PayHawk card. So if you have multiple invoices or you have Uber Eats, for example, that you're paying with personal, the agent is going to disregard those. But if it finds an invoice paid with the PayHawk company card, matches the transaction and the date, it's going to try to retrieve the invoice and attach it to the platform.
Thank you, Christo. A number of questions about what happens if the price changes, price of flight or hotel changes between your request and approval. First of all, we do add a buffer to the request to account for such changes. If the price changes more significantly, then it's going to have to become a new request, just to make sure that you know exactly the money that's leaving your company. And a related question around how we notify approvers, a number of ways. They'll get an email, they'll also get push notifications. So we want to make sure that these approvals happen as quickly as possible. Of course, that's just the limitation of the process. If somebody needs to physically approve, we have to wait for that, but we do what we can to make sure that we speed that up.
There are many questions, and I'll invite you to answer those, Caroline, when is the travel agent available? How can people have access to the travel agent?
Yeah, absolutely. The travel agent, again, is live already and doing really well. If you are a PayHawk customer, the best way to get access to the travel agent is either getting in touch with your AE directly, or in your PayHawk portal, you will see a trips app, which is where the travel agent lives. And there'll be a button there where you can register interest, and we will get back to you within 24 hours. Let's have a look at some of these questions.
There's a few around global payments that I would like to address, because I think some people want to understand about what wallet we actually take. If you're doing a currency conversion, what wallet we use. We use the wallet, which is the same as the base currency of the entity of your PayHawk platform. And the reason for this is many accounting systems cannot deal with the 3 currency case when you're clearing the age creditors listing. So what we're trying to do is allow the payment to be in the functional currency of the entity, so it allows the invoice to be matched against the payment, and then the accounting system can do the FX gain loss journal. Had that question about 3 or 4 times from the accounting one.
Thank you, Robbie. Is the travel agent integrated with trip expenses? It is, yes. So even before the travel agent, we've known that most of our customers use expense reports for business travel. So yes, they are absolutely connected. What happens is when a request is made, an expense report is created, and the logic is that any expense incurred during the period of travel will be automatically tied to that expense report, which makes things easier for both the traveler and also the finance team to reconcile more quickly. Bear with me, please. Just want to make sure that we are covering as much ground as we can. Robbie, do we have any updates on the budgets feature?
Budgets. I know we've improved some of the FX on budgets recently, so you can have sort of different FX rates by month or forecasted ones, but I'm not aware of any other ones to the best of my knowledge. But budgets, I will remind anyone who's not using budgets module of Payhawk, it's the main goal of it is the approval. So if you have approvals, you can actually get a real-time budget visibility view. It's on an accruals basis of accounting, so including any deferrals or amortization schedules, and ultimately trying to drive that cost control culture in your organization so that you're really making approvers accountable.
Thank you, Robbie. Nikki, I think this one will be for you. Are there codified standards and milestones to improve or remove dual settlement threshold requirements?
I think I'll have to follow up on this one offline together with the team, because I'm not sure I entirely understand what you mean by that.
Okay, Matt, we will follow up with you to answer this question better. Let's have a look. We've covered multiple accounts with one supplier. Just confirming there's no extra cost for agent fetch. It's part of the financial controller agent. Questions, a lot of questions around whether or not you have to log in every time, and the answer is no, you log in once. A question about Penny Lane integration. This is live.
There was also a question related to doing bulk payments with the global payments capabilities, because until recently it was only possible to pay global payments with authorize each one after the other. Now you should be able to have the ability to do those, in bulk.
Thank you, Hristo. A question from Marina. If employees submit expenses and they get approved once, if it got approved once, why trigger the approval again? So in the context of travel, you would only need a new approval if more money is to leave your company, essentially. So say you've already approved a flight for 200 euros. If I need to change that flight and the flight is non-refundable and I need another 200 euros, we want to make sure that this is something that you as a business have control over. So this is why we will trigger approval. If there's no financial implication of a change or a cancellation, we auto approve, because that's something that you've already seen. Excellent. There's so many questions. We are not going to be able to go through all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
So there is a question about the Teams integration. So we do have an internal version of Microsoft Teams, and this is something that we have been exploring for, I would say, 6 months now. Unfortunately, Microsoft Teams works in a very different way than Slack and the rest of the platforms, and we decided to prioritize the web portal and mobile to cover all customers. We hope to be able to bring the Microsoft Teams integration live this year, but currently we cannot commit on a date because it is as part of all the other priorities we have.
Thank you, Christo. We will answer one more and then we will move on to the raffle, which is the exciting bit. Question from Jake for Robbie. Can the financial controller agent be linked to a system like Slack to chase employees? Can the agent also approve these automatically if specific requirements are set up and then met?
Yeah, great question. So yes, the financial controller can be connected to Slack, and often, yeah, it's a great driver of the approvals. In terms of auto approval, based on rules, it's something that you could potentially look at setting up in the workflows today, and you could make it based on the conditions, and then it would auto approve anyway. But it's something that we will look to extend probably later this year as part of our we're looking at a feature called expense policies, where we're sort of looking to sort of get further controls like 30 euros for meals per day, that kind of thing, and have sort of those kind of policy logics on expenses. So, but yeah, you could do it today in the workflows if you do it with the conditions, and it then wouldn't have to require an approval. So you could do that today.
Excellent.
Maybe reach out to your IM for that one.
Excellent. Thank you, Robbie. We are nearly at time. I don't want to keep us over time, so we are going to move on to the raffle. As a reminder, we have 5 Uber vouchers, each worth 300 euros, which is great. And we're going to randomly select 5 winners, and we're doing it live also, so you can see there's no favoritism. So this is our first winner, second winner, third, fourth, and fifth. If you've missed it or you weren't looking at the screen, please don't worry. We have noted these down and we will contact you with this little treat that we created for you. Right. I think it's time for us to start wrapping up. If you liked what you saw, we would love it if you could leave us a review on G2. They really help us. It's a great source for people looking for different pieces of software. So please leave us a review. Other than that, I wanted to thank all of my fellow presenters, Christo, Robbie, Nikki, and our beautiful team behind the scenes who have made this possible. Really appreciate your time and attention. If you are already with Payhawk, thank you for being with Payhawk. If you're not, please reach out to us or leave your details and we would love to chat to you. But for now, we are going to thank you and log off.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.